I came here, truthfully, in a week, I would say maybe 12 times a week, maybe 2 or 3 times in one day. And you go out of here, and the very corner there, you'll see a house just at the corner. Well, that used to be a bakery. We actually had 6 potato forwards in there for 3 bit.
Families went together, and it was very much a family feel. I don't remember whether that was particularly a family evening when people went in groups, but certainly for me as a young child, it felt a very safe place to learn, and I had adults around me who were supportive and looked out for you when you were swimming.
My earliest memory is of my 2 uncles who had a great lot to do with the swimming baths here, Uncle Aaron and Uncle Tommy. Tommy was superintendent of the baths in those days. I remember him telling me off once for messing about in the water. Aaron was a swimming instructor and who taught my 3 sisters to swim, and Alma being the youngest, she could swim like a fish.
I learned to swim myself actually by listening to a man called Mr. Curry, who was the attendant down here, and he would be instructing people older than I was then, and I would listen to what he was saying, and I would try it off the steps and with 3 foot in of the water, and learned to swim, and I loved it.
The naughty boys used to, we used to creep up the stairs to the side of the pool and creep along the balcony and hand over hand out of the girders and bomb into the deep end of the pool. Of course, when you got caught on doing that, that was you out for a week. You were haunted and you were back again.
Every chance we got, we went to the baths. We used to hire swimming pants, 2 triangular bits of canvas with 2 bits of string on either side, and your hope was that there were 2 bits of string and they fitted.
The pool at one time in Templemore was the biggest of all swimming pools in Northern Ireland. Templemore Baths was the 3rd of 4 swimming pools that, and baths, actually the baths being that people in Belfast, which was becoming very industrialised, the houses didn't have sort of baths that they could actually look after their personal hygiene.
Bred in Britain, my name. I was born in 1917, so there's no argument about that. We have 2 boilers here. I stoked them at night so it was still lit in the morning. I retired in 1979 and come in here. Joe Miller, who was a relation of my own, was the foreman and the manager here. And this was his house in there. And I had a home coal out of in there, into his house here.
The attendant, he would run your bath and you would have got 6 inches of water hot. You then added your own cold water, and if you added too much, well, you lived with a cold bath. The actual conversation could carry from one to the other, and it was a lot of noise. People liked to sing in the bath. Not maybe very well. If you were in the next bath, you maybe tell someone to keep quiet.
The men out of the shipyard who lived in the same house as I did, no baths, just an outside toilet. They used to leave their boiler seats in a laundrette down the avenue, and they used to come here to have their bath.
My mother attended Mount Pottinger School, and she said a lot of the children then went once a week round to Templemore for their bath, and they all queued up for their bath, and you got a bath and you got a bar of soap and a towel, which she said was like a tea towel.
That's right.
And that's where they had their baths, because those houses down there didn't have any. And I think I started teaching down in Templemore Avenue in 1971, and I think, if I remember correctly, that just for a short period after that time, some of those children still went to Templemore for their bath.
The only time it was ever closed was in 1940 when during the Second World War, when there was a heavy bombing raid in Belfast. A lot of people were killed. Can't just remember the number, but East Belfast was very heavily hit with the bombs, and the pool was closed, and 2 swimming pools were then used as temporary morgues.
I think it's about 1983 the word came that we wouldn't be swimming there anymore because the council were going to close the pool. So it was decided that we would try and save this pool. So I was looking upstairs when you arrived, actually in the roof space for photographs, but our children were part of a group who all had little tracksuits made for them, do you remember? And they had banners. And they marched up and down Templemore Avenue with Save Our Pool. And Carolyn, my youngest, I think she was about, well, she must have been only about 3 at that stage. And, well, it worked because the pool was saved and kept going. It's gone from strength to strength.
It would be a brilliant centre to be able to use in terms of therapy and use for hydrotherapy. And to be able to use facilities in the community is particularly helpful for clients who are resettled into the community and coming back into the community maybe after long periods in hospital or institutional care.
If Templemore had anything to say for itself, it would be the thousands of children that it's taught to swim. Absolutely thousands of children during that time it's taught to swim. Not all went to be competitive swimmers, but I'm sure they were a lot safer sitting around the pool in their holidays in Spain and so on, and their parents knowing at least if they fell in they weren't going to panic.
It's quite important I think, for kids to learn to swim. It's a good healthy exercise, and it's very important for the child itself, like to learn how to swim.
Do you remember, or have you forgotten?